live sound because we actually were confident enough in our playing this time to sit in a circle and play. That's how we recorded the beds for all the songs.
You play it and you go in and listen to it, and you know then yourself if it's if it's right or if you should go back in. But once you do hit it, you know you have it. And then we didn't have enough time. In this album, we had, I think it was about 18 days in the studio, so we're always put ourselves in these ridiculously tight schedules. But by doing that, by doing everything live off the floor, it gave us so much extra time to add a lot of the extra bells and whistles. I mean, Bob plays obviously he only plays one instrument at a time on stage, but he does play so many that it's nice that he has so much time to do a lot of additions. And we did a lot of work with guitars and bouzouki and mandolins, and it was too much fun, and having one day. Each day was fresh. We never knew where it was going.
I came in one day and Daryl had in an octave mandolin plugged through a bass guitar amp, somehow hooked into a Leslie fan on the top of a Hammond organ, and I just turned around and left.
Yeah, he was rotted because he wasn't there first to get at it.
This is too weird here today.
I could really use to lose my Catholic conscience, 'cause I'm getting sick of feeling guilty all the time. And I won't abuse it. Yeah, I've got the best intentions for a little bit of anarchy, but not the hurting kind. I wanna be consequence-free. I wanna be where nothing needs to matter to me. I wanna be consequence-free. Just say na 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 na. Oh, na 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 na.
The inspiration behind Consequence Free was a 3-day period about 6 or 7 months ago when we had way too much on our plate, and when we were getting kind of disillusioned with the fantasy of the music industry of being like, wow, we got signed a major record deal now in America. Wow, we're set, man. We can just sit back and relax. And little do you realize that as soon as you get involved in stuff like that, that you have more to do than you ever did, and you're working harder than if you were doing a 9-to-5 job. And it was kind of a little bit of a, well, it's a pipe dream, right? It's kind of an obvious wish that you could act without any consequences whatsoever and be irresponsible and nothing would matter.
Long ago, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, we did a tour of Atlantic Canada with Blue Rodeo. And it was the first time that we had actually met those guys. We had been making some pretty good inroads in Atlantic Canada, and I guess it became that was part of the reason why they approached us in the first place. And, we'd really hit it off right from the start. I mean, I guess they could see similarities in our band and theirs, because we were, the young, hungry band who were just, so excited to be on stage and playing the shows. And, those guys they had much more experience under our belts, and they taught us a lot of things about the music business, even in that 3-week span. And we did hit it off great. I know there was some great serious basketball games that went on, too. Alan and Jim had some serious testers into key, I believe. There were some elbows thrown.
Yeah.
And, we did hit it off quite well. And 2 years ago, we did Fort York and Toronto, which worked out quite well. Last year, we did Ottawa, which was a fantastic show. So this year, we said, well, why don't we do something more serious and more structured? And it's because of that we're doing not only 8 dates in the mainland,
West,
Montreal and West, but we're also doing Great Big Picnics 3 in PEI, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland. So it's a total of about 11 or 12 shows we're doing with those guys.
1, 2, 3, 4. Sun, out this where we want, run away. Hey! If you're in the swing, money and everything. If you're in the swing, run away. See chameleon lying there in the sun, out this where we want, run away. Let's go.
We're kind of lucky to have done some great work with bands who we've been able to learn a lot from. I think every opener we've done, we kind of learned a lot from the headliner, and you know, in the developmental stage. Like we did a lot with the Chieftains last summer, and a great band in England called the Oyster Band. We toured a lot with in Germany and stuff, and with Blue Rodeo over here. And you learn a lot about music, because they're obviously amazing players and fantastic songwriters. And but I think the bigger part of it that I think we probably treasure more is how to be a band and how to stay a band. I mean, the most difficult thing about being a band is staying a band, and it's you know, if you deal with the Chieftains or Blue Rodeo, you know, who between them probably have 50 years playing music, you know, and there's lessons to be learned about, you know, interaction and about the business of music and the industry and about songwriting and everything. So yeah, there was a bit of mentorship. They've been fans of ours for years, you know, and I think they were really excited to finally get to work with us. You know, they look up to us a lot, and you know, as you know, Irish music has been boring from Newfoundland music for decades, and we're really glad to have taught those guys so much.
Little lass and her name is Mary Mac, and make no mistake, she's the girl I'm gonna attract. Lots of other fellas try to get her on her back, but I'm thinking that'll have to get a birdie. Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me. My mother's making me marry Mary Mac. Well, I'm gonna marry Mary, fully Mary's taking care of me. Well, I'll be feeling merry when I marry Mary Mac. How you lily at little dumb. Now Mary and her mother an awful lot together. In fact, hard to see the one without the other, and people often wondered if it's Mary or her mother, or both of them together I'm courting. Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me. My mother's making me marry Mary Mac. Well, I'm gonna marry Mary, fully Mary's taking care of me. Well, I'll be feeling merry when I marry Mary Mac. How you little dumb.
One thing about Paddy Maloney, he's always looking for new projects to become involved with, and I guess he had met some performers from Canada, and he really liked the idea of coming to Atlantic Canada to do a recording, and we were lucky enough to be chosen to be one of the acts to do that, and we did one day in a Halifax studio, had a great laugh, and I think it was from that one day when we actually got to meet the guys. Once you meet the musicians and you meet each other, you know, it's things change, and I think they really enjoyed the day. They had a bit of fun, they had a few laughs, and it's because of that they invited out to come with us on the road for a couple of weeks. And of course we checked our schedules and told them no, we were pretty busy. We probably wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, I remember the phone call with our agent was, "Do you guys want to take this gig?" It's the Chieftains, man. Yes.
There's exultation, the sweet disintegration of few discolorations, then it comes along. Of his what he chooses, the kisses and the bruises, there ain't nothing he refuses, then it comes along, it comes along. I am lifted. When I'm up, I can't get down. Can't get down, can't get level. When I'm up, I can't get down. Get my feet back on the ground. When I'm up, I can't get down. Can't get down, can't get level. When I'm up, I can't get down. Get my feet back on the ground. He just needs something to find him, something to wind him up. It won't take long to find him when it comes on strong. Night skies are gleaming, street lights are spinning. Night is just beginning, and then it comes on strong. It comes on strong, and I am lifted. I am lifted. I am lifted. When I'm up, I can't get down. Can't get down, can't get level. When I'm up, I can't get down. Get my feet back on the ground. When I'm up, I can't get down. Can't get down, can't get level. When I'm up, I can't get down. Get my feet back on the ground. Oh, I can't get down.
Halloween was in Calgary. We played here one time, and I remember it being, like I said, we had tons of cool reactions from the stage, but the audience are really into it. This feels really cool, but we almost stopped once in Calgary. It was like, this is too crazy. People are just, of course, everyone was in masquerade as well, so it didn't really, it didn't do much for their inhibitions, I'll tell you. They were just out the window, and people were gone mad.
We've always, like, taken the shows, our live shows, really made an effort to, you know, stand on our heads to entertain and make sure that people are actually participating in the concert. And I think people come who've seen the show before now and are coming for the second and the third time. They know it and they expect it. And this swing that we've come through with these Stardust picnics, the crowds have been absolutely fantastic, and there's not one show goes by where you don't get a chill down your spine when you can look out and see the crowd. I mean, they're just, it's something else. I would wish it on anybody in this world.
Yeah. It's a rush, I think, to have, you know, as a pop band or whatever, to have a crowd singing your songs, you know, and I think that's a legitimate rush, and it's good, and if, like Daryl said, if anyone could get to experience that once, it'd be great. But there's something completely different about the value in having people from as far away as Vancouver and Calgary and, you know, Alberta singing songs that we heard our grandfathers sing when we were kids. And, you know, even for that moment, thinking that we might have made 10 or 12 Newfoundland traditional songs last for another generation, or at least probably brought them somewhere that they'd never been before. That's altogether an even cooler rush.
Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me.
Oh, it's good to be home.
I think they've got it. There's a neat little lass, her name is Mary Mac, make no mistake, she's the girl I'm going to track. Lots of other fellas try to get her on her back, thinking that they'll have to get up early. Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me.
Mary Mac.
I'm gonna marry Mary, for me Mary's taking care of me, well I'll be feeling Mary when I marry Mary Mac. How you now Mary and her mother an awful lot together. In fact, I heard to see the one without the other, and people often wondering if it's Mary or her mother. Well, both of them together I'm courting. Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me.
My mother's making me Mary Mac.
Well, I'm gonna marry Mary, for me Mary's taking care of me, well I'll be feeling Mary when I marry Mary Mac. How you Well, up among the heather in the hills of Benefee, I had a lull sitting on my knee. A bumblebee stung me right above my knee. Up among the heather in the hills of Benefee, Mary Mac's mother making Mary Mac marry me.
My mother's making me Mary Mac.
Well, I'm gonna marry Mary, for me Mary's taking care of me, well I'll be feeling Mary when I marry Mary Mac.
There's a machine, there's a single rack mount unit you can buy now that Elisa's puts out called the Kitchen Sound. You just dial it up and it's just there. It's a great one. Oh, really? I said that at an interview in America. This guy's just right. Kitchen rack. One. Oh. So anyway, I'm glad to see you laughed. It's good to be home.
We're always playing each other's instruments, which is funny because, you know, they're always sitting around the stage and sitting around in dressing rooms and what have you. So it's always nice to be picking up everyone else's instrument. But it's nice to approach, you know, I guess it's just we like playing music and we like getting our hands on as many instruments as we can. So there's always seems to be new ones.
The Folk Festival is a wonderful vehicle for that too, because, you know, myself and Daryl especially, we're always there a couple hours before the show and incessantly looking around, nosing around everybody else's dressing room, going over in their gear pile, checking out, hey, what's that you got there? So we're always noodling away at everybody else's instruments, and people who've never heard tell of us stroll backstage to get their stuff.
It's like, who are those guys playing by guitars?
These two Newfoundlanders are...
Yeah, it's like the...
Can you tune that different?
I've got a smile on my face and I've got four walls around me. Got the sun in the sky, all the water surround me. Oh, you know, yeah, I win now, sometimes I lose. I've been battered, but I never bruise. It's not so bad. And I say, hey, 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 it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just got to say it's all right.
There are, you know, great collections of music at the Modern Linguistic Archive, say at the university, and what have you. But it's nice to discover it that way. But I think for us, the best way to discover a song is when you actually literally hear someone sing it. That's when you can, you know, you remember exactly where you were and what you were doing the first time you've heard it. And obviously the song moves you enough that you remember it the next day. That's something that's when you say, okay, this is something we have to do. There's something about this song that's simply fantastic.
It seems more real when you hear, you know, the first time you probably heard Excursion Around the Bay was in a kitchen, like in Outer Cove, and it's so much more valid when you hear it in that real sense, as opposed to reading it from a, you know, blowing the dust off an archival book or something like that.
Well, there'll be music all around you. You should see the way it feels. Come on, off we go now. Hear the tone now to the jigs and reels. Cause somebody's got a fiddle and someone else brought a guitar. And we got Bobby on the squeeze box. Grab a chair and raise a jar. Oh, come on now. Let's lock the world outside. Come on, I tell you now, she's going up tonight.
It's amazing, like some places, there's a couple places we expected it would do well. You know, like New England and Boston and New York, we figured we could do well, and we have. Like in those cities, it kind of went quicker than it did in Canada. Primarily because we're kind of smarter as a band, you know. I mean, we played in Ottawa 8 times before we chose to go. Maybe we should try to get some press, you know, and whatever, you know. But by the time we went to America, we were kind of smarter as an organization, you know what I mean? But like the 3rd time we played in Boston, we were doing 1,200 people. You know, and so we kind of expected that the band could do well in those regions. We just toured for the first time in California, Southern California, and Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, and a few places in Washington State. And the degree to which folk music is big in those areas, we didn't expect at all. In Colorado, you know, our 3rd time playing Colorado, we got the 15,000 seat Telluride Folk Festival, opening for Willie Nelson. You know, and it's like, it just seems like progress can be made so quickly down there to a certain degree, and because it is so massive and it is so, but for us it's just, you know, we kind of treat it like we treat every other place. It's kind of, you know, it's secondary to Canada. It's somewhere to go when we're not here, and you know, we've had fun, you know, touring in Europe a lot, and we've made big inroads especially in Germany and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see where it takes us. Okay, who knows?
It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. That's great, it starts with an earthquake. Birds, snakes, and aeroplanes. Lenny Bruce is not afraid. I have a hurricane, listen to yourself. Turn worlds into its own means. Dummies, live your own means. Speed it up and not speed. Got no street. The ladder starts to clatter with the fear. Fight down, high fire in a fire. Represent the southern gang from the government for hire in a combat site. Unless there wasn't coming in a hurry with the furies breathing down your neck. Team reporters grab the Trump, clear the ground, look at that low plane, fine. Then overflow, population corner, do but it'll do. See resemblance, irresemblable worlds in your own need. Listen to your heartbeat. Tell me that the reds are in the reverend with the right. You patriotic slam fight right. I'm feeling pretty psyched. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine.
I guess the neat thing about Canada is it's still curious about the music in its own country. You know, people still come out to see live Canadian music. They still buy Canadian music, and thanks to CanCon, they still get a chance to hear Canadian music on a regular basis. And you know, it's nice that Canada hasn't turned its back on its musicians. It's supporting them as much as it ever has. So it looks very good in this country that is doing so.
There's no doubt about it that Canada is the only country that Great Big Sea could be successful in, like, as a starting band, because the rest of the world doesn't treat its regionalities and its differences as well as they'd like to treat like the national norm. Canada is fascinated with its regions, always will be. People from Saskatoon listen to Newfoundland folk music. People from Halifax listen to Susan de Gluekark, and people from, you know, Vancouver listen to French Canadian music and are interested in it and see it as a valid thing. And like, that's what I'm trying to say. When I say, like, for that reason,
you know, growing up is the same thing.
For that reason, is that Canada has afforded us the opportunity to be a rootsy pop band, and I think if we were in a different country, we would definitely have, in order to be successful, we would have had to abandon a lot more of our cultural icons and our love for home and our roots-based music than to be successful.